Never thirsty. Never thirsty.
Well, there we go. I thought we were going to test this. We're not. We're just going to go. We're just going to go. We are never thirsty, folks. And we are live.
Yes, we are.
I am Stu Stone, aka Jitty Bambino. And with me, of course, is the NVRThirsty Neffy Neff, the last, the greatest, the only American B-boy left standing. And of course, he's in New York. And in Dusseldorf, Germany, we have Mr. WireFang, the oddball producer. How are you, WireFang?
Good, fam. We had an election.
Your audio is terrible. So, of all the people, WireFang was complaining about my audio, and he sounds like a transformer.
Your audio has COVID.
Oh my goodness! But we're in Dusseldorf, and it's all good.
Wow. Whoa. Sounds like a bad guy from like like an evil droid from the Star Wars movies. You're like one of those like evil droids.
You sound crazy.
Anyway, let's just talk regardless. Never thirsty. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is a place where you don't want to be thirsty. You want to be hydrated in life. Being thirsty is a sign of desperation. And people who know me know that I travel with drinks. I have them with me. I bring a Snapple with me to dinner parties, and I get kicked out of the dinner parties because they're offended that I would do that. But you know what? I want to make sure that I'm able to drink something and never be thirsty. And so let's just get that off the top. If you have that mindset, then you're in the right place.
What are you drinking now?
Right now I'm drinking coffee, which is not good for thirst, but it is good for, waking up.
Coffee. Staying up.
What's coffee.
What's going on today with our audio? Is my audio does my audio sound okay? Okay.
That sounds good.
All right. All right. So what's going on today, fellas? What's the good word?
Not too much on my end. I mean, there was a weekend. It's getting colder. We're getting closer to pumpkin spice Halloween is here. Like you can already buy candy at the store. It's getting to be the years of 2 years have just blinked by. Literally, it still feels like March 2020 to me.
Nah, we got robbed in March 2020.
No, I'm saying it's just like it was March 2020. Then I blinked and it was 2021, almost over.
It's like when you go in the elevator in New York and you try to go from the 12th to the 13th floor. Some elevators don't have 13th floors. It goes from 11 to 14. I don't know if it's like that in Toronto. But the 13th, there was even a movie about the 13th floor. But anyway, it was like the 13th floor. It wasn't there. It's just like a blip on the calendar.
Oh, there we go. I think my sound just got fixed due to my technical prowess. So I should sound a lot better. Can you hear me?
Yeah. How did you fix it?
You can hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we're back in business. Jitty Bambino is back in business. Do you want to know why my voice is a little bit hoarse? I've got a story to tell. I've got a story that happened to me over the weekend. So my neph is he had his 14th birthday. Sorry, let me take that again. My neph.
Jesus.
My nephew, Sammy is his name. He had his 14th birthday party on Saturday night, the same night as the big UFC fights. So, he invited a bunch of his friends over, and all the parents and, me and his parents, we all went to somewhere else to eat dinner, and we came back to the house afterwards. And I guess, we had our own little party, not me specifically, but the people, my sisters were enjoying the festivities. And we came back there, and like these kids, like they were having a party, right? Anyway, so the UFC fight comes on, and the main event comes on, and my sister Dina looks at me and she kind of gives me this like the little Iggy, and she goes, "Hey, let's bet on this fight." And I'm like, "Sure." And she's like, I'm like, which fighter do you want to take? And so she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, how about this? Watch the fighters come out. You pick which fighter you want, and I'll take the other one. And all the kids are like, whoa, hey, whoa. Kids are starting to gather around. They come out, and my sister's like, yeah, I don't like. She's like, the first guy's good looking, and my other nephew's like, no, you got to go with the champ. The champ's going to win. She's like, okay. Me and Noah, that's my other nephew. Me and Noah and Sammy, we're in on the champ, and I'm like, all right. And she goes, how much do you want to bet? And I'm like, what do you want to bet? She's like, 10 grand. And I'm like, thinking to myself, like, that's not going to be believable at all. But I'm like, all right, sure, let's go. And the kids are like, huh, what? My sister reaches in her pocket and pulls out $10,000 and puts it on the table.
Oh, shit.
Must have had this planned, you know? And everybody, all the kids are like, what? It's like, even I'm like, what is happening right now? And she's like, let's go. And I'm like, okay. And then the fight starts. And now all these kids are watching the fight as if, like, $10,000 is on the line, and they can't believe it. And they're watching the fight, and the champ is kicking ass and winning. And I'm sitting on the thing. And then all of a sudden, my guy's like face is broken, right? Ortega. If anyone watched the fight, he got his face pounded in, pardon my French. And at one point, out of nowhere, he like got in a guillotine chokehold and had the champ in a chokehold. And I was like, oh my God, tap! And all the kids were going nuts. And my sister, it was as if now it was like psychologically like we really had 10,000 on the fight. And I like literally lost my voice, like screaming about this fight. Like it went to round 2, and then round 3, and then round 4, and it was just like my guy was getting killed, but he had one time he got like another choke in, and it looked like the fight was going to end, and my sister was going to lose, and then the champ won, and my sister gave my nephews some cash, and then they were calling me they were clowning me like
terrible.
Like I took the L in front of my nephews. And it's all good. Like those kids are gonna remember that forever. Like they're gonna tell that story of the time that Sammy's aunt
Uncle Stu's man got dropped.
Yeah, and like the money on the table, and like it just gave my nephew's birthday party such an incredible story that'll stay with these kids. Because I remember
fighting.
Well, there was a lot of fights. It was a UFC. There was a Nick Diaz fight. He fought against ruthless Robbie Lawler. And in the main event, Ortega, Brian, I think Ortega, fought the champ, this Russian guy.
And the champ beat him up.
Yeah. Oh, man. He might have not even been Russian. He could have been Australian. I have no idea.
I got to find out before the end of the show his name.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I just know I lost my voice screaming because it was a really incredible fight. One of the best I've seen. And it was just like.
So that's your fight recap.
My fight recap was that it was a great fight, and I lost $10,000.
Horrible, bro.
Yeah,
that's horrible.
But then NFL yesterday wasn't so bad. But by the time people see this, it'll be dated, so not even worth talking about yesterday's games. But hopefully, people are out there playing fantasy football, having a good time.
You're a football fan? Like, what type of sports do you watch?
All of them. I'm a sporting.
You're a sports fanatic.
I'm a sporting gentleman.
Oh, I see. I don't watch sports.
No,
I watch boxing.
Yeah, the Sweet Science.
But I won't watch anything else. I get get bored.
No baseball.
Oh, that's the worst.
No basketball.
Basketball I can entertain if I got a whole bunch of nuts screaming out,
sure,
with me and rooting. I can understand rooting for New York or your home team.
Yeah,
when the stakes are high.
What about hockey?
Come on, you playing with me?
Now let me just make a case for hockey for a second, because you said you like boxing.
Yeah, that's different. That's street fighting.
Yeah, because in hockey they have fights. There is fights.
Yeah,
and these guys
I would see that
fighting. So imagine like MMA fighting on skates. Like that's pretty exciting, isn't it?
No, well, after the 1 or 2 fights, I'm pretty much over it. But I used to watch wrestling as a kid, and I know that's your thing.
I like it. I appreciate that you classified it as a sport.
Yes, it's a sport. There's guys running around being athletic.
Yeah.
And even if it's an acting sport, it's a sport.
I agree. Sports entertainment.
Yeah, 1,000%. And when I was young, when we were young, rather all of us, it was different. It was I believed everything. Everything I saw on that thing. I remember when Hulk Hogan would come back up and getting the Hulkamaniacs energy and all that. I used to think we were giving him energy. I used to
Yeah,
think that was a real thing.
for sure. For sure.
So
And that's the magic of it, right?
yeah, that was once you realize you not what it is, it loses its luster a little bit. But I'm from the days of King Kong Bundy,
Yeah, of
the
course.
Junkyard Dog,
JYD.
uh, Roddy Piper,
Sure.
uh, Mr. T when he came on that was at the moment right there.
It's
So
funny because two people who are not wrestlers are the two people that are probably responsible for the help of like launching wrestling the way we knew it and the way people know it now. One of them is Mr. T for sure, because Mr. T was on the A team. He was in Rocky 3. He was the biggest
mhm,
star. I went to a Toys R Us to get his autograph when I was a kid and like waited in line with like 400 kids. Like as an adult, he lived across the street from me for 14 years. And I probably ran into him only twice, but I walked by his house all the time, like hoping I was going to see T like jumping on the trampoline or something. But since I moved out of there, the guy that lives there now has seen Mr. T and like sort of taking pictures with him and like has his phone number now.
what?
Yeah, now they're like boys.
Stuart
Um,
Gump, that's you.
yeah, Mr. T is the man. And then Cindy Lauper, if you know who that is.
Come
Uh,
on now, if I know who that is. I was about to say her before you said it.
uh,
Captain Lou Albano and Cindy.
yeah, so Cindy Lauper, I mean, once she got involved, MTV got involved, and then all of a sudden it was like rock and wrestling was here. Cindy
Yeah.
Lauper was Roddy Piper was feuding with Cindy Lauper as much as he was feuding with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. And she got her hands dirty.
Oh yeah, yeah. She was, and by the way, I like Cindy Lauper. I think she's great. I think she's like a underappreciated sort of contributor to modern music. Like she's got a lot of great songs.
She got a dope voice.
Yeah, she's got a unique voice. She's just got like an out there sort of personality.
Yeah.
That she's the real deal. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, no, me too. She has somebody was telling me in the verses when she win a verses, and I was like, she don't have enough songs, and then all of a sudden they were running them off time after time.
Great. By the way, that's probably not only her best song, but like it's like a best song. It's just such a great song.
I forgot about it. Like I'm thinking just one record, which is "Girls Just Want to Have Fun."
Right, which
But
is a cover, by the way.
Who did it first?
I mean, I can find it for you, but it's
Yeah,
definitely it's not. She didn't write that one, but that's what it was back then. People would get big by doing a cover song that people didn't realize was a cover, because like there's all these songs we heard as kids that we didn't know they were covers. Like, you know what I mean? Well, maybe you did, but I didn't.
I didn't know that was a cover. That one in particular.
I'll get it for you. And then she's got like, the Goonies. Remember the Goonies?
Come on, these are classic movie moments.
She had the song from Goonies, and the music video had all the wrestlers in it. Iron Sheik, Nikolai, Piper.
What record was that?
They're all in there. It was called Goonies Are Good Enough.
Cindy Lauper 101, y'all.
Yeah.
Are we giving Cindy Lauper her flowers today? Is that what's happening? Is she the one getting the flowers? Because nobody gives her flowers.
I think I actually accidentally stumbled into this. I'm a flower. Okay, the guy's name is Robert Hazard. The original Girls Just Want to Have Fun. So it's like some like punk rock like prom song, I guess.
It came out when?
Form. Sometime in the 70s.
And that was 10 years later. She just did it all.
Yeah, I mean, it completely made it her own. I mean, that's if you're gonna do a cover, you want to make it your own, because what's the point? Otherwise, you're just like on American Idol or something, just singing some song. Like, if you're gonna do a cover, make it your own. I've done some covers and I've made them my own, and
me
that's
too.
Part of what, and you gotta bring something new to the table, or else it's more of a tribute than a cover, right?
Yeah, I did Jingle Bells. I don't know how many other people did Jingle Bells.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
I felt like I made it my own. This is my dog moving through the curtains. He just doesn't have any respect.
Yeah, but your Jingle Bells had like rap in it also.
No, definitely did not. It's just Jingle
Bells. I remember
you heard Merry Christmas.
Merry
That's
Christmas.
Original. That's not a cover.
That's not a
but
cover.
I have Jingle Bells.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ron Browse.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Well, that's Ron. Ron Browse did that part of the hook. And then, but the other one is Jingle Bells.
Cover.
The original.
That's your favorite Christmas song?
Is that my favorite, or do I have a favorite?
Both?
Yes, that's my favorite Christmas song. That's the easiest one to sing. We're from the jingle era. All the commercials, all our greatest TV shows had jingles in the beginning of them. All the commercials. We grew up on jingles. Not now. Now
they still have jingles now, but like the jingle game has gone like low rent. Like it used to be all the big companies, and now the jingles are like 1877 cars for kids. Donate today.
That's a fluke. That was an independent situation that took off.
Lion.
Who's that?
We are farmers.
There we go. They got one, but we're from. Think about all the TV shows that come on now. There's no jingle or song associated to the TV show.
Yeah, no. If I hear it, if someone played like name that TV show theme, 80s or 90s, I would be able to nail them all. If they played me ones from like the last 10 years, I couldn't tell you. There isn't one. It's like there used to be like theme songs with openings and like people posing for the camera.
Yeah, that's if I ever do a TV show, I swear to you, it's gonna have a theme song.
And like people that type of someone's doing something and then they like, oh, the camera, like Family Matters, like Eddie's like working on the car. And like grandma's reading Rolling Stone and she's like, oh, didn't see you there.
The Greatest American Hero.
Yeah.
One of the top 10 theme songs to me.
And that was actually like a crossover song. It charted. It became a hit song.
It's incredible.
You know, there's a few TV shows that had their theme songs become like a hit of their own, and that's Greatest American Hero is one of them.
Bosom Buddies.
Friends. Bosom Buddies didn't have a. What was Bosom Buddies theme?
Was it?
Yeah, that's a good song. Billy Joel.
Yeah.
But I think the Billy Joel song was already a hit prior to Bosom Buddies. I was
too young to know on that timeline. I don't know if that blew him up or vice versa. Who was in Bosom Buddies? You remember the star of that show?
Yeah, Tom Hanks.
Yeah. That's back in the day.
Yeah.
That's the good old days right there. I'm trying to think of the top 10. That's the top 10 theme song I would say for TV shows was Greatest
just
American
period?
Hero.
Like they didn't have to become just period.
Top 10 from the 70s and 80s. I'm gonna say Good Times. Woo! That's one of the best ones. Greatest American Hero.
Let's go back and forth because we got to fill. We can do 5 each.
Okay.
So your
Good Times.
That's your first entry. So I'm doing mine in no particular order. I'm just throwing out songs that are good songs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw out Transformers theme song, More Than Meets the Eye.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. But I wasn't thinking cartoons. But
I got the best one. The best one. Knight Rider.
Oh yeah, come on.
I mean, not only is it the best theme, it spawned hit rap records too. Like multiple. Timbaland sampled it, Busta Rhymes fired it up. There's a bunch of different people.
That's right. Hey Bambino, take your headphones out and put them back in.
Do you think that we'll get because I sing the songs too well? Because if you like put in like a copyrighted song, like sometimes you get flagged on social media. So will I get flagged going?
Probably not.
Yes, Michael.
Listen, that was legendary. Now I got to top that. I'm trying to think. But didn't really have a song, but it was an instrumental. Night Court.
Dude, didn't you see the show that I showed you? I have we have this web series that's going to be dropping soon. It's like a stew wrapping kind of thing. There's a night court is in the show.
I'm just saying.
Like I literally make a track out of the night.
All I was saying to you,
Bringing back night court. You know that, right?
Oh no, I didn't know that. I want one. I mean, what's it gonna do with it? Like, it has to be hilarious. I need the whole cast. I don't know.
I think a few of the
court, and we'll see what happens. I've yet to see sort of like a reboot that like I actually stuck with. It's like the nostalgia is like exciting, and then like I can't get like then something else happens and I don't go back to it.
Yeah, I don't like reboots too much. What was a terrible reboot? Trying to think. I think the Brady Bunch was horrible. There's a few that was garbage that I didn't like. You know, but back to the theme songs.
Yes,
The Jeffersons. It's another one.
That's a banger.
That's a classic. Who sang it? You know who sang it?
I don't.
I forgot her name. I don't want to say her name wrong. Not on our show, but it was Ramona on Good Times sang the theme song. Yeah, she had a hell of a voice. What's her name? Is it Bernadette Stannis? Is it? I don't remember her name. Not right now. Black folks, I'm sorry. I am sorry. I don't remember the sister's name.
All right, we're gonna have to table this. We're gonna have to table this regardless. And like this is the most awkward. We should have segued from the last conversation about dangerous and taking risks because the world is a dangerous place, and the person that we're speaking to today has a solution, perhaps, to some of the chaos that is going on our planet. We love solutions around here. I mean, there's all sorts of problems. What about someone
who actually has some solutions? You know what I mean? It's easy to point out things that are wrong. It's harder to point out how we can make them right.
Correct.
And if we want to bring in our guest, we will be able to discuss that.
Hey guys, how are you?
What's up, brother?
How are you?
I'm good. My name is Luan Pham, and I was listening to the banter about wrestling. You left out Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Yes, Superfly Snuka, man,
legendary.
Jumping off the top of the cage.
I hurt myself watching him.
Yeah,
jumping off things and stuff.
I think we were all in our living rooms yelling at the TV together. I think we're all kind of came up in the same era, so I enjoyed the banter. But thanks for having me on this morning.
I wanted to talk. The world is obviously a crazy place, and there's always room for someone to come and disrupt the way that things go and come up with something new and a new sort of solution to a real problem.
Yeah,
and I think that you have got something very, very fascinating that I'm curious about. But for those who are interested, I believe that listen, times are dangerous right now, and this gentleman right here has a company that he's going to tell us about that is getting sort of, I don't want to call them weapons necessarily, but ways to sort of protect yourself and your family in a non-lethal way where you can still show an intruder or some unwanted entity that you mean business without having to like put them in the ground, which is something that I would imagine police forces and other places probably are looking at these types of potential items. Let's let you explain it. But
sure. And then I think there's a lot of conversations that come out with it. Again, my name is Luan Pham. I work for a company called Byrna Technologies, and we produce a device, a non-lethal device called the Byrna launcher. And the Byrna launcher, although it looks like a pistol, we call it the ungun. It looks like a pistol, performs like a pistol, but was designed to be less lethal. And as we all are aware, there's a lot of social unrest that's happening, not only in the United States, but globally. And from our perspective, we feel like on the continuum of force, as they say in law enforcement, that if there's an altercation, you try to get out of it through verbal judo, right? Talk your way out of it. Hey, chill out. And when verbal judo fails, most people, they think of the next alternative is going lethal. And from our standpoint, that's the nuclear option, right? There has to be other ways for folks to de-escalate and escape the situation. And from our standpoint, we feel that between verbal judo and lethal, our product needs to be that solution. What makes the Byrna launcher so very unique is it's not classified by the U.S. government as a firearm. It's essentially an air gun that uses CO2 canister where you can load in this unit, lock it up, and it shoots projectiles, 68 caliber projectiles that contain different types of ammunition. Our most powerful solution is called the Max Round. It's a combination of tear gas and pepper. So when you hit an assailant with it, it automatically attacks their central nervous system. So eyes voluntarily close, can't breathe, choking, your nose is running uncontrollably, and it feels like your lungs are going to collapse. And so when someone gets hit with that, the last thing they're going to think about is attacking you. And what makes this and the other options are pepper, which is straight pepper, or we have a pure polymer round, which is essentially hard plastic that can break auto glass. So a pain deterrent. And what makes our platform very unique is that, as I mentioned, it's not classified as a firearm. So there are no background checks required, no permits needed to own this self-defense device, and you can travel freely across all 50 states. That being said, there are some cities that restrict the carry of any product or device that launches projectiles, such as New York City, San Francisco, or Seattle, I believe. But everywhere else, you're pretty much safe to carry it. We do advise that people check their local law, their local laws to just be completely safe. But what's unique about our product is, beyond, people think that we're primarily focused on just law enforcement, and that's a key aspect of it because our law enforcement officers need to have an in-between from lethal and verbal judo, and a lot of times this can de-escalate so many different situations where if they're dealing with someone that is combative, this should be the first go-to. And we've trained over 150 law enforcement departments across the nation, including ATF, DEA, and a few other government agencies. But the goal is to get folks to, let's not create a situation where lives are being lost through these types of shootings. The officer, good, right or wrong, is going to get drugged through the coals.
But I also think, like, psychologically speaking, like, imagine if you're on the other end of that, right?
Yeah.
And you're in an altercation with somebody. It doesn't even have to be law enforcement. You're in with somebody, and somebody pulls one of these things out, and you get hit with something. You're also not thinking, "Oh, that's a non-lethal thing."
Right.
Like, you're probably like, "Oh, I'm getting shot at. I gotta stop what's happening."
Yeah. Two of our most popular colors are the orange and the black. And the black, if you look at it, it looks like it's designed after a Glock. Yeah. So a lot of it is deterrent. When people pull this out, I mean, like, you pull this out, you got to think of it as a firearm. It's serious business, and you're protecting your life. You should not be walking around the streets waving it or advertising it. But we get so many stories on our website, Byrna.com, and the blog, where people talk about the instances where they were in danger and they pulled out this device, and either the assailant walks away or the situation is reduced back to verbal judo, right?
And also, like, let's be honest, okay? Like, if you're living your life, I don't even know how I want to word this, but it should never even come to this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
pulling out a gun on somebody is like, that should never even happen in your life where you have to even do that. And God forbid that situation arises. This is the God forbid button. So this is like if you were ever put in a situation where you needed to do something like this, which I hope anybody watching will never be in that situation. So it's like, I don't think you're buying one of these to walk around and shoot things and have fun with it. This is just this is like, in case of emergency, break glass. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, you're very right. I mean, like, full transparency, I'm a firearms guy. I lived in Oregon for 4 years.
Yeah.
So I have everything from, just every type of weapon. But, people don't realize when you own lethal firearms, there's a complexity. Once you fire that bullet, you are responsible for that bullet, man. And you hit someone, whether right or wrong, you're risking your freedom. You're definitely going to need a lawyer up. You are definitely going to be dealing with, potential civil lawsuits and the PTSD of taking another human life.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people out there that, troll us and say, what happens if, you're bringing a knife to a gunfight? Like, look, in these situations, when someone's in my house, they're going to get 5 rounds of this as a warning shot, right? And then hopefully if it takes you out, I can clear my family, great. But if my life and my family's life is in total danger, that's mean like 99.9% to where I cannot make it out alive, then I will escalate it to a different situation.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. The people who are saying that's bringing a knife to a gunfight, like, you're not bringing this to a gunfight. Like, there's no gunfight.
Right,
you don't
exactly.
want a gunfight. Like, unless you're in
how many rounds?
Oh, go ahead.
Good.
So
how many?
You can load up 5 rounds in one magazine, and it works like a traditional pistol. The same, what we call manual of arms. You drop the magazine, you load the magazine. It has safety triggers on both sides, safety fire, and then you use it the same way you would use a pistol. But as you can see, with the barrel, it's a much bigger barrel. So, even if you are approached by a police officer, you should not have this in your hands. You should be on the ground. They look at it and they look at the barrel. They know that is not a true firearm.
How accurate is it compared to?
So it has an effective range of 60 feet.
Wow.
So you're in a safe distance. We think, like, non-lethal. You got pepper spray. You got the little stun guns. And we just think that that's too close for comfort, right? And by that time, you're already in the mix.
Yeah.
And so from this, you can de-escalate from 60 feet accurately. You have 5 rounds. One CO2 canister can shoot 20 effective rounds. And, like, these are the things where you can defend yourself, and it won't get on the news because it's not that type of situation, right? And that's what we want. We want to let people live and feel confident about whatever it is that they want to do. When I would drive from Oregon to California to visit my family, my 9mm goes away, and I had pepper spray and a pocket knife, and it didn't make me feel that much better about driving, interstate. But now I have this launcher that's legal to carry wherever I go.
Just what you just said is like such a fascinating statement. That last one, like, when I drive from state to state, like, the last thing on my mind is like, where do I have a knife with me in case something happens? But in reality, it's a dangerous place out there. You never know what can happen. I guess it's better to be safe than sorry. But I guess I wanted to say, like, you mentioned that you're an enthusiast. You have a lot of firearms, whatever. If someone is like a sporting or a hobbyist that likes guns and shooting targets and doing that type of stuff, then that's a different thing. But for take that group aside, anybody that's buying a gun is buying it to never use it, and that's what it should be, right? You're not buying a gun to use it unless you're a criminal. Right. Or something, and you have some idea of what you're going to do with that gun. But if you're buying it to protect yourself, the goal is you're buying this thing, how to use it, but you never have to.
Right. So our point is, we want people to buy this, and, like, we don't want people to buy it and, like, oh, checkbox, I put it in the back of my closet. When something happens, I'll pull it out. That's the last thing you want, because you're not going to be very familiar with it.
Sure.
What's so awesome about our platform is you can take it in your backyard, set up targets,
Yep.
load it up, shoot all day long, and go back inside and have lunch, right? And like with legal firearms, you got to drive to a range, you got to set the whole day. Ammunition is super expensive.
Yeah.
Now it's like $1 a round, where ours is $0.25. And
it's also probably like a safer option. Like, young people want to learn how to shoot and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And then what we recommend, if you live in like a city, just let your neighbors know, because like if they see you in the backyard, holding something like this, they might freak out. But
I think that happened to WireFang. He went out with his device, and his neighbors were like, "What's going on out there?"
But
how loud is it?
It's like
sounds like a gun.
So it's not. Yeah, exactly. It's like there's hardly a sound where it's like alarming, where someone will call the police, like, okay, someone's shooting a real gun. Nowhere near that. There is just a sound of air being released. This launcher can shoot a projectile at 300 feet per second. So once it hits, and what's very cool about this is all you're doing with, especially with the irritant rounds, is you want that powder to disperse. So let's say if I have someone, I come home and there's some guy in my house and he's hiding behind the kitchen wall and I can't get a direct shot. All I have to do is shoot the back wall, the ceiling, the floor. I just need that powder to disperse within a 6 feet area, and then that guy's going to start choking. And then once he starts choking and really having, like, his face feels like it's on fire, then I can, call the police, evacuate the house, and at the end of the day, no one dies. This guy lives,
Yeah. How much is this?
So the product is $359 for the kit.
Now, how much is a real gun?
Real guns range from anywhere, depending on high or low, from as low as $200 to $5,000, right?
Right.
So, but for us, it's not really a comparison of should I buy this or should I buy a gun, because like it really is, if you're not ready to own a gun, not like I was. I grew up in Southern California, and I spent 10 years in New York, going to Oregon. Getting a gun and bringing a gun inside a home where I had small kids was one of the scariest things I ever had to do as an adult. But things were going crazy. Like, the nation was on fire, and I didn't want take any chances. And I guess
this all sort of happened during the pandemic and during sort of like the social stuff that was going on. Like, that's when you came up with this idea?
No, so like full transparency, I'm not the founder of the company. I run marketing and sales, but the true founders of the company, it's been around for a while, but we were selling a 40 millimeter round to law enforcement, and then our CEO Brian Gans had met an engineer that took that perspective and created something in this size, and we pivoted the company. And then it was like 3 years ago, and then when all that stuff was happening, people were searching online, like, well, how do I protect myself? And a lot of these people didn't want to get firearms. And as you look at some stats in 2020, there were 9 million new gun owners, because people were just freaked out, right? And so we're giving folks that alternative solution. Like, if you're a non-gun owner, this will, give you some peace of mind that it's easy to use. With our launcher, there's zero recoil. So when you shoot, it just stays still. It doesn't jerk back like a regular handgun. And that advantage allows you to, let's say if I miss my first shot, I know where that shot's going and I can adjust on the fly. So your accuracy is a lot better, but it gives folks a peace of mind. And then secondly, with people with firearms enthusiasts like myself, like if I knew about the Byrna, I probably wouldn't have gone to lethal, but there was no other choice for me. So I thought, and being a responsible gun enthusiast, I know that the Byrna, not because I work here, that I need to have an intermediary solution before I have to reach for the ultimate solution.
Can I ask you some out there kind of questions?
Sure.
So basically, you mentioned, there's chaos going on. People are all worried, and I guess if you follow certain sort of wormholes down certain internets, maybe you think there's a civil war about to happen, or the left versus the right, whatever you want to call it. And so it seems like this is a perfect time to launch a product like this, like you said, where everyone's trying to buy guns, and this is a lot easier and safer to use. But it's just so wild to me. It's a perfect time to launch a product like this. And I'm wondering, I would imagine the sales went up through the roof over the last year.
Yeah, I mean, like, our company really was put on the map by Sean Hannity. We have no relationship with him. There was this thing that came out, and he was saying, like, I think police and regular citizens need to have this device that I just bought, and I think it's great. And he mentioned the Byrna, and it's like, it was like the one time where, like, Hanny's very, he's a very polar personality, but it brought people on both sides of the fence to say, like, you know what, who cares if I'm left or right or conservative or liberal? This makes a lot of sense on the law enforcement side. It makes a lot of sense on the civilian side. And it's just too crazy to have this much firepower in society today. Yeah. And that was an interesting aspect, because a lot of people gravitated to that. And we were selling, we were getting tens of thousands of orders from that. And then it was a situation where it was not like, oh, I hate this person for saying or for his position. It was like, wow, that's an interesting position. And
well, listen, from a business standpoint, you can't go wrong. Somebody that's got 3.5 million viewers are watching this TV show saying your product, no matter who it is, that's good for business. Yeah. So are you guys, is there like a backlog of orders, or is it like, can someone just go on and get one and it's coming in 3 days? Like, how does it work?
In the beginning, we had a 4-month wait.
Yeah.
And because the demand was so crazy, right?
Yeah.
And now we reduced it to a week, and people were still willing to wait. And like, my background story, so you can understand where I'm at, is it's not like all capitalism from a lot of us. It's mission based. We want to save lives. We want to. Prior to this, I had launched a natural foods company with other founders, and we were able to IPO in September of last year.
Wow.
So I had a liquidity event where I was retired. I retired at 49, smoking cigars, playing golf, and
man. Things, right? That's the interview we should be doing right now.
And so then I was asked as a favor to speak to this company that was doing something very unique. And as I listened to our CEO, Brian Gans, talk about his vision and his mission, and he said, look, at the end of the day and at the end of my career, if I could help save lives, then that's a life well spent.
Is this going to IPO also?
We're already public.
Okay.
So we're trading on the NASDAQ under BYRN. But that struck a chord with me, because there are a few things that I'm very good at in life. Really building awareness for brands is one, and I wanted to join this journey, and I wanted to be able to, like, we're talking to schools, arming school teachers with this, where if there is an active shooter environment, the teacher can protect the class, and if he or she misses, no one dies, right? And so it's giving something. Some people,
yeah, I think that's like the big thing. I mean, I think at the end of the day, like, the money is going to be made up by private consumers, but or whatever. But no, let me flip that back. You guys get in with the school board. We got to buy this stock. What's the stock again?
BYRN.
BYRN. This is like the get rich episode, because
you guys are talking about, I'm gonna go off on a tangent, but you guys were talking about wrestling. I was laughing because we have this piece of creative that we think would be hilarious to shoot. So we initially thought of Betty White, from Golden Girls.
Sure.
And so Betty White's in her Floridian home, or Florida home, and she wakes up in the middle of the night, and she hears a sound in the living room. She sits on her bed, and she pulls out her eye mask. She's like, oh my gosh, someone's breaking into my house. She leans over and she grabs her Byrna and walks to the door, opens in the dark, shoots 5 rounds, and then you can hear this large male voice like, "Oh my gosh, Al Betty, my face is burning. What are you doing?" And she recognizes the voice and she turns on the light, and it's Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan's in the middle of her living room, rolling around. He's in pain. He can't breathe. And Betty runs to him and says, "Oh my gosh, Hulk, I'm so sorry. You're not supposed to be here till tomorrow." And Hulk says, "It's 2 a.m. It's technically tomorrow, right?" And so fast forward 30 minutes later, she's consoling him with milk and cookies in her kitchen. It's like, "Don't worry, Hulk. It'll go away. You'll live." But the message that we're saying here is, look, if this product is so easy to handle and use that a senior citizen can use it and take down a monster human being like the Hulkster, that's good for you. And if you miss, and it's not going to be catastrophic. And it's a serious conversation, but we wanted to kind of approach it with humor so that it's approachable. And
So, are you going to shoot this commercial, or do you need
We're trying. I think I let it out early, but we are talking to agents and getting talent and people like that to
That's great.
help us bring it to life. But from an approachability standpoint, it's very important to me because, like, look, I was a kid that grew up, and I came here as an immigrant. We grew up poor, had to build everything that I had with my own 2 hands, and I understood what it's like. I understand what it's like not to have a discretionary income, and it was very important to me to make this product available to everyone. And because if you don't have a lot of income, you're not probably living not in the best neighborhoods, right? And I wanted to make sure that everyone felt safe, and so we created we worked with a partner called Sezzle, and we instituted partial payments on our website where you can pay up to 6 payments, and they manage all super easy. And we saw such an incredible response from people that wanted to, I can't pay for it all at once, but if you let me break off bits and pieces, then I'll do that. And for me, being a minority, having a lot of minority friends, kind of doing all that, I understood it from that standpoint. And it was critical. It was important to me personally to bring that out and to make sure that everyone who wants to feel safer, who like we consider our mentality like the UN, right? We don't engage until you're engaged upon, and we're prepared to defend. And so it's not aggressive. It's really meant to say like, hey, might be a small individual, but if you come my way, like my friend DJ Lethal, formerly of Limp Bizkit, would say, "F around and find out," right? And so you don't want to do that because most criminals are looking for the easy targets. People are not going to fight back. People are going to just like roll over and do what you're going to do. But if you fight back a little bit, they're going to walk away because that's the mentality of a bully. That's the mentality of a criminal. And if you show some resistance, chances are you're going to be all right. But if you roll over,
listen, if you pull out the one let's see the 2. You had 2 models there. Yeah, that one. If you pull that one out,
the black one,
that looks like a real gun.
Yeah, I mean, like if you go on our website, there's like a passer that talks about this guy following me into his grocery store, man, like shadowing his every movement. He checked out. The guy dropped his bag, came out with a knife. He pulled this out, and the guy took off. He was later captured, robbing another customer at knife point. And it's just like we get these stories all the time. And what we want to say is, look, don't ruin. We think that a bullet can ruin 2 lives, and you better be prepared to when you're playing lethal and you're watching way too many Die Hard movies that it's all gonna be like forgiven. And when it says the end, your problems are just starting, and so you better understand it, and quite frankly, it's serious business. And look, like I said, I carry both, but it's a continuum of force, and I'm trying to bring it the other way.
Yeah,
we think that's important.
I think it makes complete sense. $350. People can go to your website.
Yeah, Byrna.com, Byrna.com. And we would advise you just watch some of the videos. watch, see how the product works. And with every kit, we provide a card that you can carry on your wallet or wherever you carry your documents, and you can show police officers that this is legal and it is not a firearm, and it states so via federal law. And so we have over 115,000 units sold in the last 3 years, and
Wow.
it's growing. And you see Byrna Nation at the bottom. You go find us on Instagram. You'll see how the brand is being adopted. We also just introduced shoulder fired rifles, so that if you're in the backyard, you want to shoot for fun, or you want more high capacity, more rounds, then you can have that. But it's really built for self defense, home defense, and recreation. Because who, like, show of hands of who shot BB guns when they were kids, and that was a blast or not, right? Yeah. And so get in your backyard, you shoot at some targets, 45 minutes of fun. It's very inexpensive, and it's going to teach you and prepare you to be ready when that life-changing, life-threatening moment arises.
Does your site have an affiliate program or your company?
We do. DM, you have, I think you guys, I can give you my information afterwards, but yeah, we definitely do. And our goal is to get this out to the world, to make sure that, people have options, and so that our law enforcement agencies have options, our citizens have options, and that you don't have to go from the shallow end of the pool to the deep end, because that's what lethal is. It's very difficult, and especially in California, where I believe you guys are at, impossible to get concealed carry permit. And
Yeah, I mean, it's just like so out of my wheelhouse. I don't even think like that. And I think that if I was going to want to protect myself, my family, whatever, I would be probably more inclined to get your product because I don't want to fuck up.
yeah,
And
yeah, absolutely. And we're working with a lot of folks in the ethnic communities, the African American community, the Asian American community, because you hear, like, the Asian hate crimes that's happening against, the Jewish community. So we're just educating folks so that, everybody knows their options. And if they want to protect themselves actively, Byrna is a good option.
I say that you guys have probably a really big future there with the school stuff. Sounds like a no-brainer. Law enforcement, I don't know how it works to have like an extra thing for them to reach for, but I'm sure that there's a way to make that work. If they know the call beforehand, what they're getting into, maybe they know in advance to come with that thing. And I think, for people who are living at home with kids and don't want to have a deadly weapon around, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why your product sounds like it's the right time. So good on you guys for stepping up and coming out with something like this when the world probably scarily enough needs it. And again, my personal message as to people is, you buy a gun to never use it, and hopefully you'll never have to. But if you do want to mess around in the backyard, this is a way better option. And
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
legal. Although the black version of it is really like, that looks like a gun.
Yeah, it's in California where we can only sell the plastic rounds, because there's a law that you can't disperse irritant rounds. California's our biggest market, and we sell a lot. Imagine getting shot at 300 feet per second with a hard, like a marble.
It hurts.
It's gonna hurt like hell.
It's gonna feel like you got shot with a bullet. And you're gonna think, like, that's what I was saying. Like, that black gun comes out and shoots you, and you get hit. You're gonna think you were shot with a bullet, and you're gonna get the fuck out of there or whatever. I'm swearing way too much, but anyway.
Yeah. I mean, like, we get a lot of single moms. Like, they gotta protect the household, and they're not prepared to do all that other stuff and don't have the time.
And some creep comes over, like.
Yeah. We don't promote violence or hurting other humans.
No, it's protection.
Protect yourself, because
protection and recreation.
Don't live in fear.
Yeah. Right? No, that's good. And speaking of fear, you got love, you got fear. What's in the middle? The Byrna.
Right.
That's what's there. So let's go to Byrna.com if we want to buy that. Hopefully, they're going to want to sponsor us moving forward because this sounds like a product we dig. And
definitely.
either way, this is like, I feel like if I was on Shark Tank right now, like I would be offering a deal just because it does sound like a big moneymaker. I know it's a social awareness thing too, but there is dollars. It makes sense. So where there's sense, there's dollars. So good luck with all of that. And it was really cool to meet you, man. And I know Lethal, who put us onto you, he swears by it. I mean, he sends texts us all the time, pictures of it. He loves it. And I know Fang got one.
Before I jump off, the next time we're in town or we're close, we have a law enforcement team that consists of ex-police commanders, captains, and SWAT snipers. And we just did this over this weekend in Las Vegas, where I'm based, a full tactical training day.
Wow.
We had an opportunity to shoot everything.
Wow.
And once you realize like how not scary our platform is and that you can get this to protect yourself, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So this when we come out and we shoot at targets, we extend an invitation to every one of you guys to come out.
Yeah.
And we can do a podcast from there and let you run drills with our guys.
That sounds like a lot of fun. So we got to make that happen.
Yeah.
Well, really cool. Byrna Nation on Instagram, www.byrna.com, Byrna. If you want a non-lethal way, even though Lethal's the one that recommended it to us, non-lethal way.
Yeah, he's DJ Peaceful though.
Yeah. If you want to, protect yourself in a non-lethal way and keep yourself safe while keeping the people around you safe, this sounds like a great option. So good for you guys. Congratulations. And I look forward to talking to you and shooting the breeze with you soon.
Thanks. Hey, so like a gift to your fans, you want us to create a promo code?
Yeah, why not?
10% off. Well, what do you want it to be? Thirsty 10?
Why not?
Sure.
All right, so I'll create Thirsty 10. If anyone's watching this and they would like to get 10% off anything that we sell on their site, use Thirsty 10 at checkout, and thanks Stu for that. And
look at that. We're already saving you money. Perfect. We'll have WireFang hit you up and get some more details just so we can get it all covered for future episodes. But we'll plug it.
Sidebar,
for sure.
Golden Girls top 10 theme song.
Yeah, for sure. And that's another song that was also on the radio. That's a cover. Thank you for being a friend with someone's song.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll have to have a whole episode about that, and we'll.
That's a Snapple fact.
That's a Snapple fact.
This conversation seems like it was pre-planned, but it wasn't. Like you just kind of went from the beginning and just
it worked out. And let us know how it goes with Betty White in the Hulkster.
Well, unfortunately, Betty's 99 and she's not doing work anymore, so we're looking for an alternative talent. But I think we can lock in the Hulk, and we're working on it now.
Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
All right, take care, man. Yeah, there we go. Byrna. So that was interesting.
Yeah, it was dope.
I guess we'll find out. I mean, maybe we can have our first sponsor or something.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll code.
Maybe he'll let us direct the commercial.
Yeah, with the Hulk.
Yeah, why not? We should look into that.
Yeah. My question was, if I go, or not me, let's put a hypothetical. If some random person goes, because that black gun looks like a gun.
You'll die with that. Yeah.
Now, if you go into a bank with that thing and you rob the bank, not that people should do that.
No.
Then when you go to court, it wasn't with a deadly weapon because technically it's not a deadly weapon. Is that how that works? I'm only asking, not suggesting people do this, but if someone robs a bank with a comb, is that a deadly weapon?
No.
So how does it? I guess you're not a lawyer.
You have to have a deadly weapon. What do you mean? But
what if someone thinks it's a gun?
Come on. People go to jail. Police go to jail for thinking someone had a gun.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's you might want to get the red one.
The red one is the one I'm really feeling, and I promote it because it'll save, like I believe it will save lives.
No, I
black
agree.
One might be in just this era. I wouldn't really, pull out a black gun. And the cops show up and you have the black, they might not ask questions,
No.
So the color, it just looks too real. But I love the concept. I love the idea of evening the playing field for people that don't want to go to prison, but still live in a situation where they have to protect themselves. So
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly.
I think that they're going to make a
impressed.
fortune if the school boards pick up on that. They could sell one for every classroom in every school.
It'll slow things down. I tell you that.
Yeah.
You don't
Well,
wanna
this
get
is
popped.
sort of a somber way to end the show, but you know what? Listen, if we're saving lives, so that's a good thing, right? That's a
Yes,
good.
it is.
All right. Well, let's welcome people to join us again next time, and then we should talk for a second after you end this show, WireFang. But that was good. I'm Stu Stone, aka Jitty Bambino. That's Neff. He is the last, the greatest, the only American b-boy left standing, and WireFang from Dusseldorf. And don't forget to use promo code Thirsty10 if you go buy one of them Byrnas.
Mm.
And we're not getting kickback for that, I guess. But
Yes, as if listen.
But they're getting a kickback because they're going to get 10% off.
Do you know what affiliate means when I asked them that?
No, I do know what that means.
Okay, so that means
so people are watching this unfold live. They're going to see. Like this.
Yeah, they're gonna. We just became. Hopefully, we're gonna be their partner soon. We'll be an affiliate partner.
I never thought I would be in the gun business, so let's see.
Yeah.
Anyway, stay thirsty. No. Never thirsty, folks. Don't be thirsty out there. Stay hydrated, and we will speak next time. Thank you.
Never thirsty.